Oh, buy the dip. Is it about to crash more? Bitcoin had a major spill today, but it also popped right back up. Is this a dead cat bounce? We're seeing the altcoin market also saw a little bit of a spill. We have some clear winners there in this market. We got to talk about what's going on into this weekend. We got the Bitcoin conference next week. I'll be flying out to Vegas tomorrow. A girlfriend's coming with me, and we got the whole crew from Hit Network going to be there. Can't wait to meet a lot of you fine folks. But beyond that, we've also got some other incredible charts that we got to look at. We're going to be diving into those momentarily. All we got to do right now is make sure that we have this retweeted out, hit that share button, get involved, get in the live chat. Are you bullish or bearish about price being well above, or you think it's going to crash well below where we're at right now by the end of the month? Let me know your thoughts right now on Bitcoin price action going into the end of the month. Let me see that on the live chat. I'm just getting this retweeted out. Let's go ahead and get this retweeted, and we're going to get into it right now. Let's go. Bitcoin's crashing. It's all over for we just have to sell everything if we're idiots, but none of you here are idiots. Welcome to my humble abode. I'm streaming from my house today, getting prepared to go to Vegas. I'm flying out there a little bit early tomorrow, and then I will be there all week next week. Can't wait to see many of you. I actually have some family in Vegas as well, so I'm going to hang out with them a little bit, do some shenanigans, and then obviously pop into the conference. But when we're looking at the markets right now, Bitcoin crash, it's all over. It's a top. You see, I told you. Well, what does the chart actually look like? I do not have my camera on that screen, but we'll go ahead and get it on here 1 second. Where is that camera? Boom, boom, boom. Make it say ayo, ayo. There we go. Always has issues when I go between the different studios. But when we're looking at the market right now, Bitcoin topping out and crashing. Is this a crash? Let's stop being so darn hyperbolic, because what do we really see when we're looking at this chart? We see the price action moving up in about 2 days' time. Look at this. Measure that out. Look at that. About 2 days. Maybe you could say 3 days. Cool. But 2 days to go over about $10,000 to the upside. And people are wondering why the price action is pulling back. Well, first off, every normal market cycle structure for any bullish trend or any bearish trend is essentially that rise, retrace, continuation, or drop, retrace, continuation. So what we're seeing right now is very normal. Look at this beautiful bounce. It's a beautiful bounce. Where's that bounce at? The projected range highs here all the way out. Look at this. Now we have support, 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 and we bounced off that. Now the price action moved up. Great. So this retrace we're seeing, it's because of Apple tariffs. It's because of Trump tariffs on the EU. Is it? Because I talked about this specifically here on the BitLab Academy stream not only a day and a half ago. When we pushed up initially, I said, hey, watch for the retrace to 109. If that loses, watch for a retrace down here in the 106 to 105 range. This is ultimately the target I'm looking at coming down. Why? Because this is a price action target of the previous range highs. The easiest technical analysis charting you could ever do for any asset, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Apple stock, Nvidia, is when you see large price movements, or any price movement for that matter, to the upside. If you're going to watch for a retrace, watch for price action to come back to a previous range high. Look at this bounce right here, right at these range highs. But these are kind of intermediary range highs. We'd really like to see this for ultimate health to come back and test this range right here at the 105 region. So what does this look like on the liquidation heat map? Let's update it and see that when we're looking at this, okay, we're kind of trapped here, but let's go a little bit larger, 48 hours. Let's see, man, look at all of this liquidity that was below us. So was it the Apple tariffs? Was it the European Union tariffs? Was it have anything at all to do with Trump tweeting? Or did the market see also a lot of this liquidity below us and it's a great excuse to get down and scoop that up, clear out all these over leveraged longs, boom, making the market a healthier landscape. Because this is all we're seeing. If you didn't know the news at all, I could have just seen this liquidity that was below us and said, hey, man, we're probably going to go down and scoop that up before we go higher. So the question now is this enough of a scoop up? Is this enough of a clear up of this the prices below us of all this liquidity before we range to the back to the upside? Well, the question right now is, what is the strength and what does the other things look like? Because we see the price action went higher here, and we do have a slight bit of a bearish divergence on. I mean, all the way from back here. Look at this, kind of trending to the downside. Is it not that down? Well, look at, if you kind of zoom out, look, that's a bearish divergence from this high to this high to this high, much higher along the way on price action, whereas it's getting weaker in strength. Does this mean it can't go higher? No, it doesn't mean that, but it's just suggesting or outlining the data points were already there despite whatever news came out that this was likely going to have a correction. And what we're seeing right now on the price action in Bitcoin is not only healthy, it is expected, and it's I would argue needed for a more healthy movement for the continuation back to the upside. But let me move my chat window here. All my windows are in different spots because I'm a whole different setup. How's everybody doing today? How are you feeling? It's going into the weekend where market prices just went to new all-time highs, $110,000, $112,000. My name is Kellam. I'm here to bring you a breakdown of what we're seeing on the charts, a little bit of news just in the context of how it's correlating with the price action on the charts. But more than anything, here on BitLab Academy, we are sharing the various data points that we can be looking at to build a thesis, to build an action plan on how to navigate these markets. And first off is, what is your action plan for gratitude? Are you grateful today? Do you feel good? If you don't, go and meditate, go do something else, go cook, go take a walk, get into the right frame of mind, especially any day before you come to a trading desk or approach your portfolio, figure out what you want to do, because your mood influences how you engage and respond versus engage and react to things, whether you're trading, whether it's a relationship, whether it's romance, whether it's family, whether it's a business decision, trading. It's all comes down to your operating system. So let's make sure we've kind of cleared our cache. We've reset, restart, control, alt, delete all the shitty negative emotions and feelings that we have before we get here to the trading desk, because we're seeing a lot of stuff in the charts and the market is crashing right now, guys. It is Is it really? Yesterday it was at 3.5 trillion. Today is at 3.45. What is the worry? What is the worry? And I have some data I'm going to show you in a second that really highlights the fact that we're more likely than not nowhere near a top on this market. So we need to be looking at what's going on in this data so that we don't get trapped in our emotions. Piss Missile Explosion says, nope, it's over. Cooked. Well, I hope you don't really feel that way, because sell if you feel that way, but I think you're going to be proven overwhelmingly, incredibly wrong here in the very near future. And with that being said, let's dive back into some of these points. We got Bitcoin at 109, just under $110,000, 109.5. We got Ethereum 25.76, XRP still hovering around that 237. It's just, look at this, just chopping in the range that it's in. Why is my screen just a little bit off today? Let me see if you can get it just like that. There, you can kind of see the edge there, kind of. Yeah, whatever. BNB at 672, Solana at 182. See that right there? Dogecoin 2365. But did you see one of our big winners yesterday? One of our big winners over the last couple days, Dog on Bitcoin, had some major movement to the upside. Let's go ahead and look at the 1 month chart. Look at that. We're up 195% on the month after a major drawdown on price action across the market. It wasn't Dogecoin, it wasn't Pepe, it wasn't Bitcoin, it wasn't Ethereum. The market had a pretty big drawdown, and now we're seeing a large rebound, and certain assets out there are outperforming in different ways. And this horse is going to go back and forth between different assets, but I'm super bullish on Dog. We're sitting at, look at this, $515 million market cap. I can see this getting up into the 3 billion, up into the 10 billion, up into the 20 billion, up into the 40 billion. You think I'm insane? Do you guys realize that Doge got up to almost $80 billion market cap? Let's actually look at that. I just want to highlight the difference of what we're seeing here and what has not run yet. Doge, if we come over here, go to market cap, and we can see, look at this. I mean, all the way up here into, I mean, over 70, it got right above, right at about $80 billion market cap. And this is on Ethereum. And that was a major, 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 major run up for Doge to do that. Can Dog do that as well? I don't think it's going to do the same thing as Doge. But the difference with Dog is it's on a much larger liquidity chain on Bitcoin. This is, yes, on Bitcoin. This is its inscribed Bitcoin coins called Dog on Bitcoin. Dog to the moon, baby. And there's no paid KOLs. I don't get paid. Somebody acclaimed, they're like, how are you such a Bitcoiner? And now you're doing these paid shills. Dog on Bitcoin does not pay me. They don't pay anybody because there's no marketing agency to pay. It's just a huge community of people that love something that is playful, dogs, and also has a great community and a great culture. And so when you see Doge on Ethereum do so well, can Dog do the same thing? I think it will do something similar, but I don't think it's going to be the same percentage ratio of the market cap to Ethereum as Dog will be to Bitcoin. However, it doesn't need to be because Bitcoin has over $2 trillion market cap. Now, this is not going to get to, I don't think, 10% of the market cap of Bitcoin. But even if it got to 1%, that would be monumental, especially as that market cap is going up. Even if it gets to 0.5%, you guys realize this is so undervalued comparatively, and there's no like big pockets where somebody's going to dump on you. I think it probably has one of the best tokenomics out there. And people think it's ridiculous to say because I'm such a blue chip crypto focused individual, but I want to get a little playful, a little degen as well. And I want to do it safely. Every token's out. There's no inflation. There's nothing that's going to be some surprise new emissions. No, every token was distributed to Runes holders last year. So I'm very excited about this. Even in the last 7 days, this has seen a major run up, 45%. I mean, how many of you out there are in the Dog army? If you are, clip this, share this, tag it, because this also has one of the top mind shares of crypto out there, not only in the meme space, but in crypto as a whole. So there's a lot of movement here, and it's getting listed on Kraken. That's only the start for what's coming. This got up to about $1 billion market cap before it had any tier 1 listings. It still quite doesn't. It's going to be listed on Kraken, but Leonidas did a great job on the back end, also trying to figure out a way to bridge it. So you can also trade this on Solana, Dog on Solana. You can go look that up. It's all bridged over. So there's a lot of easy access points. Now let's go ahead and look at a couple other things because there's some major things going on in this market. First off, we see the major drop. Can you imagine, first off, this? Imagine showing this to someone 5 years ago. We just crashed. Bitcoin just crashed. It dumped to under 109,000, still well above 100,000. But the fact that we are having a pullback to 100,000, this is phenomenal for where we're at in this asset. Let's keep our mind about us. Let's look for dip buying opportunities because this is nothing short of spectacular. And this is what I outlined this morning. Oh my God, Bitcoin's crashing. Well, I mean, it just had the $10,000 move. It makes sense for it to come back to the target that I outlined for you here on BitLab Academy, only as this pushed up into the zone, watching for the 109, watching for the 105. So let's make sure we take advantage of opportunities as they're giving. I saw people 2 days ago say, man, if this dips, I'm buying. Here's the dip. Are you buying? Are you sitting on your hands? This is not a time to be selling. I do not believe so whatsoever. And then we see, look at this, Bitcoin, crypto market dump. Well, it's because of the Trump's tariff. Well, look at the global M2, the money supply, the green right here. The green has outlined exactly, I mean, such a tight, beautiful correlation of what the price for Bitcoin was likely going to do. And it has done it, I mean, spot on. And on this run up here, I was talking with TJ about this yesterday from Discover Crypto. We said, okay, we got the big run up. Look at where this is actually lining up with the global M2 pulling back a little bit. I wonder if we're going to get a dump. That was yesterday morning. And then what do we see today? We got a little bit of that dump. Is it going to be a little more? I don't really care. I think that the narrative of Bitcoin is going to be up and to the right over the next many years, but in the very short-term time frame, when we're looking at the 4-hour chart, for instance, it makes sense that you're going to have some stair-stepping along the way. And this is exactly what we're doing. We're proving the strength of the bulls by having strong run-ups, a little bit of profit taking. Is it going to go higher? Okay, let's flush out some of this over leveragedness, move down. Where do the bulls come back in to defend? So long as we're, continuing to maintain higher lows, everything is looking overwhelmingly bullish. So we got the outline for what likely was going to happen. It's still happening just like this, but don't fear, because green rocket man pumped to higher right here is here. This is what is showing is likely. It's not going to be exact, but it's likely coming next for the Bitcoin market. And then we look at this. Here we go. Bitcoin full bull is on if the Z-score closes above 1. What is he talking about here? This is a MVRV, the market value to realized value. It's an on-chain metric showing the price action that's traded on exchange as it relates to the average price of every coin in circulation the last time it moved. Remember, some coins have been held since 10 cents. Some coins have been held since $1. Some coins have been held, and these are typically those swaths are thousands into the tens of thousands. And then you have coins that were bought at 20,000. Some coins that were bought at 60,000. Some coins. So if they were bought and they haven't been moved, then their average price of when they were bought, that's how you factor in this averaged, the realized value, right? The cost basis. This measurement here is the separation of when you see this huge explosion in price that goes much higher than that average price of every coin in circulation the last time it moved. And these also, look at this, when this breaks above the 1 line, which is right here, look at what's going on in price action. It's going parabolic. Okay, what do we see right here? Look at this, going parabolic. What do we see right here? We got a little bit of a tap, not quite above the 1 line, but we still are starting to get that large movement. And this is where, much like right here, this is where the super fireworks happen. But it doesn't mean on every time frame it's just going to be up only. If you're on the 5-minute time frame, you're going to lose your mind. If you're on the 15-minute time frame, you're going to lose your mind. But once you start zooming out, you start seeing a clear picture of what's going on in the trends and what's going on. We got 1,273 people in the room. I'm just asking each and every one of you. It is Friday, May 23rd. Hit that like button, subscribe, share this out to your friends. Get engaged. I want to see you in the live chat here. We're about to do some TA on quite a few different coins. So let's get engaged here. If you're watching on Rumble, shout out to you. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that follow button. We have the links if you want to join us in our Discord. If you want to join us trading with us on LBank, that link is right here. If you want to, if you need a VPN, 4 months free, the link's here. Cold storage, one of our partners here, Arculus, getarculus.com. Use code BitLab20, just like you see right here for 20% off. Same thing if you're watching on YouTube. Look down below. It should say subscribed. If it doesn't, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. And then you got all those links that are right here as well. If you want to join us in our Discord that were just recently merged with Drew from Blockchain Basement, DZ, Joshua, TJ, myself. We've got a lot of stuff going on in there. So get involved there. If you are a BitLab Academy member, drop an email to office@hitnetwork.com, office@hitnetwork.com, and share it. This is for paid BitLab members in the paid BitLab Discord. Drop your Discord username and also your LBank UID. You can sign up for this anywhere. I do recommend signing up with, you might need to have a VPN on to protect yourself. I always set mine to Brazil or, Lithuania or something like that, so people can't target me. But you don't need to do KYC or any of that stuff. Sign up there. It's free to sign up, and you also get to participate in our trading competitions. You also get access to the traders area. We do these live trading morning sessions where we break down charts and all this kind of stuff in there. So get involved. Now let's look at the data. What are we seeing? We're seeing some bullishness setting up for astronomical gains in price action. But in order to participate in those, you got to be allocated. You got to figure out what your portfolio is looking like. Crypto Danks, my boy, what's up, my friend? DeFi Crypto Airdrops. We got the crew in here. Seth Shepard, Piss Missile Explosion. What a great name, by the way. We got Yugen Sky, Granny's Garden. How you doing? Chipper, KJM, Black Ice, that guy. A shout out to all of you that are in here on a daily basis. I do appreciate you. Now let's look at some more data. What do we got? Breaking Bitwise research says that 427 billion of institutional money is about to buy 4.2 million Bitcoin. This is not $4.2 million. This is 4.2 million Bitcoin. This is this would be astronomical supply shock. This would be incredible. I mean, this would be, we're seeing this broken down from nation states, wealth management platforms, public companies, US states, sovereign wealth funds, and the amount that estimated what their inflow, aka buying pressure, would be into the market. The question is going to be, when do these roll out? When do they come? Do they come all at once? Do they start rolling out over the next 14 months? Does this change the fact that maybe we never have a 70% correction again, at least in the near 4 to 8 year future? Is it going to be up only, just stair-stepping, stairway to heaven for the next 6 years? I don't know. Nobody does. All we can do is be allocated, figure out our action plan, and stack to be ahead of these mofos. This is the first time in history you as retail get to front-run nations, front-run corporations, front-run the rich guys. This is the best class jumping mechanism that you've ever seen. And even if it's not huge wealth driving for you, maybe it's just protecting your assets. Bitcoin is on the world stage now, and it's only just becoming, made aware of to all these major players. So get involved. What else we got? We got some great stuff today, guys. Now, here's an interesting chart from Gary Cardone. He and I, brother from another mother, we do a lot of spaces together. He's actually speaking at the conference. We had his brother also on the channel here last week, 2 weeks ago. Smart guys, whether you like their politics or their religion, all that doesn't matter. When we're talking markets, this is specifically what we're talking about is markets. And Gary and his brother Grant know what's going on in markets because they've made billions of dollars understanding these markets. And what does he show here? This does not look anything other than reverting to the mean. What is he talking about? Are we really in some crisis? Yes, because we have never-ending money printing that leads to higher and higher inflation, but we're looking at the bond market like it's some huge signal. Well, if you zoom in on this, look at this. This is a 30-year, the 30-year chart. What do we see? Look at how much higher this was all the way back here. The majority of the time on this chart, these yields, these rates were higher than where we're at now. We had a bit of a local low that we've kind of mean reverting back here. But at the end of the day, what we have to realize is there's so many different financial tools and mechanisms that the Fed uses, that the Treasury uses, that the US government uses, that banks use, that it's all a shell game. It's all freaking fake. The only thing that isn't is Bitcoin. It's transparent. Everybody can see every transaction that's ever happened. What wallets are doing what size wallets are doing what, the long-term holders, short-term holders. It's audited every 10 minutes. You cannot inflate it because you messed up and you have shitty monetary policy. Bitcoin is the solution to every monetary error that's out there. Excuse me. I had something tickle in my throat. Hello from Portugal. Obrigado. Thank you very much. Can you tell with USD1 Binance listing and if World Liberty Finance gets also listed, what can be the price? That's hard to predict. Up, right? Price will be up. There's a lot of sort of political headwinds on that because of the correlation with Trump. And should he be doing something that is going to benefit him? And the question is he really? Because these are companies that he is a part of, but he's outside of. I don't know. I don't know the answer there. But I do see we got a super chat here or a member thing from Crypto Danks, 9 months. I look forward to seeing you soon here. Met Kelly at Bitcoin 24 in Nashville. Brilliant, humble, honest. If you're here, you're in the right place. I never say that likely. This man different. Hey, shout out to you, my brother. It's good to see you in here. I really do appreciate you. I don't know why these things get so small, but make sure you can click on his name there if you're watching on YouTube. He's got a great channel that he's doing a lot of stuff on as well. Smart fella, wonderful guy. Looking forward to seeing him again. Now let's continue on with what else we got here. This is some of those things that shock the market. Now we're going to get into some TA right after this. European Union, up to 50% tariff. Oh my God, June 1st. This looks like something where he's just swinging a big hammer, and this will likely cause a pretty big slingshot in price action with a bullish rebound once it's like the EU's like, wait, what? 50%? Okay, let's come to the table. Let's have some concessions. This is what he's doing. Rather than like slow playing some bullshit where it's like, hey man, will you? No, it's like, hey, it's either this or nothing at all. So this is what he's putting out there. I think it's a more of a hardball negotiation tactic. It provides dip buying opportunities. So let's celebrate the gift of these dips because Bitcoin is about to rip, guys. Then we got here we go. I think we just saw this story play out in April. Trump proposes something super aggressive, causes a ton of volatility, then saves the day and ends up something not as bad. If he's proposing 50% on the EU, probably wants to get them to give some concessions and he can then bring it down to like 20% instead. I couldn't agree with this more. This is right on the money for what I am kind of expecting to see here as well. Then beyond that, we got Tim Cook's having a bad morning. Apple proposed 25% tariffs for all Apple iPhones that are not made in the US. Well, what are we on the horizon of right now? Major infrastructure investments in the US. It's something like $5 trillion now that he's brought in an investment to build back into the infrastructure in the US. Okay, but aren't iPhones going to be so much more expensive if they're made here in the US? Well, the question you should be asking, why were you okay with essentially slave labor in other countries? The fact that anybody is saying, I cannot believe that Trump is doing this, it's going to make iPhones so expensive, it outright exposes a blatant lie and cognitive dissonance. And a lot of people out there, and liberals, Democrats, I'm looking at you. And I got my foot on both sides of this. I'm a middle of the road guy. But for you to be mad that Trump is trying to bring infrastructure and jobs and building back here to the US, it's a good thing. If things are going to be more expensive, kind of makes sense. But what are we also on the cusp of? AI and robotic like explosion. In fact, I think Apple could bring the entire production back to the US and actually end up dropping the prices of these phones because now the cost of labor is actually going to go down even further. And we're not going to be just investing in child exploitation and slave labor in foreign countries. So let's get behind this. This is good. This is a positive thing moving forward. So I'm happy Trump is America focused. Again, whether you like his politics or not, you cannot argue with the incredible amount of things that he's gotten done in the last about 130 days. So let's support the growth here because this is incredible. Now, what else we got? Texas moves to establish Bitcoin strategic Bitcoin reserve. It's basically signaled. He said it. It's pretty much Greg Abbott, the governor, has signaled he will be signing this. I'm not sure when that signature is going to happen, but this is super bullish. Texas is the 8th largest economy globally. What does that mean? Texas as a state, forget that it's a state. Look at its economy and how much GDP, how much gross domestic product, aka how much money does the economy of Texas do? More than every other country in the world other than the top 8. And one of those is California, which is not a country, but it's the 5th largest economy in the world. So Texas getting a strategic Bitcoin reserve is more important than El Salvador. I love El Salvador with everything they're doing, but Texas eclipses that like on an orders of magnitude. This is major. Then we see Ethereum. Everybody's wondering about Ethereum. ETH ecosystem is growing systematically with active addresses increasing for 2 years now. Ethereum layer 2 dominance strong at 6x. This is the type of data I like to look at. People are like, but price is dropping. If you like the underlying fundamentals and the data of usage and increasing activity, and the price is not responding to that, that means you still have a wonderful opportunity. Maybe you're finding that gem while everybody's looking at some shiny new thing that's already topped. I think Ethereum's going to do spectacularly this cycle, and it's charts like this that give me that sort of confidence. And then I think last chart here, and then we're getting into TA. Let's see it. I've heard one last push for 2 years. Everybody's saying this is going to end sometime this summer, maybe as late as October. I will go on record right now. I've said this a number of times. I think we're going to have a bull run that's going to be frustrating as shit. That's going to make a lot of people money. And that's going to be, it pushes up like it just has. It's going to consolidate for a bit, have a washout down, continue up. I think it's going to be stair stepping up probably well into 2026, which breaks this 4-year cycle theory. Now, we still have the 4-year cycle on the halvings. Yes, the halvings are still going to happen for miners, but in terms of the exact schedule for how the bull market, 2-year bull market, 1-year correction, 1-year consolidation, I don't think we're going to see that. I think this is going to be at least this cycle, an extended cycle. And it's partially because of this. Looking at the business cycle, this is not even rolled over yet. Look at this. This just started rolling over at this point right here. And look at where this was in the cycle. Boom, a lot more to go. Right where this rolled over right here, look at this. Boom, a lot more to go. Similarly right here, this is just rolling over. What? Boom, a lot more to go. Stack, stack, stack. Now, Bitcoin, let's get back to it. Let's finish on Bitcoin. But let's look at some of these other things. Okay, the altcoin market got a pretty big spill. Pretty big spill. But what is this? Is this really a spill? This is looking at the others chart. And what do we see? We see a large, essentially bull flag or large bullish run to the upside and a falling wedge into kind of a support zone, also into a support zone horizontally where this neckline is. If we kind of come right over here, I'm going to go just like this. Option J. What do you see? You see a rejection. You see a little support. You see rejection. And look at this bouncing right there. We can even draw this up just a little bit more. See this bouncing perfectly right here in a falling wedge. Breaks out. Cool. Now this is scary. Now you get the doomers out there saying this is a double top, like an M formation. Oh my God, it's an M formation. It's over. Well, what I see is the trend reversal here with alts now reversing from a downtrend into an uptrend, and this making a rise, retrace, continuation with a little hesitation right here. But what do we see on this move? Rise, retrace. Where did it retrace to? Right to this freaking zone of the previous range. Rejection, rejection. Now support. And look at that wick. The question is going to be what's going to happen over this weekend when there's heightened sensitivity because of the tariffs and people being dumbasses out there and the market makers out there shaking the emotional traders to make stupid decisions and go leverage long and leverage short, just donating their money. Can't wait for Bitcoin to decouple from the M2 and go to the moon. Yeah, shout out Chris Fav. Big love to you. We got Rin Tin Tim. Morning, folks. Alts ain't doing jack squat. Well, some of them are. Some aren't. Some are. But it's all about being the setup before the move. Bitcoin is the star of the show for the rest of eternity. But within that, if you are taking any alt exposure plays, whether it's because you love that tech or maybe you hate Bitcoin and you missed the boat, which is the stupidest thought ever. If you think you missed the boat on Bitcoin, you don't understand Bitcoin. Let me say that again. If you think you missed the boat on Bitcoin because price is so high, you haven't studied for more than 3 hours what Bitcoin is and how it relates at an inverse correlation to what we see in the error and the malfeasance of the fiat system. Bitcoin is the star of the show for the rest of our lifetimes at minimum. Now, are you going to get some alt exposure? I'm a degen. I got some alt exposure. I got BitTensor. I've got Ondo. I got Link. And some will call me stupid because Bitcoin's a star. But I also think that the global financial system, as well as the payments networks, as well as every aspect of business in the world, is going to be on payment rails, on blockchain rails. And I want to be a part of that tech side of that part of the evolution. So part of my portfolio has alt exposure. And I try to find alts that I specifically think, if I'm going to hold something in the crypto ecosystem that is outside of Bitcoin, then I try to look for altcoins that I think at minimum, at least for this cycle, will end up outpacing the growth of Bitcoin. And the whole goal is, with that, to rotate those profits into Bitcoin. But the point with that is you don't go at 90% alts and then at the end, try to rotate that into Bitcoin, because you're probably going to end up completely wrecking yourself, because that's not a good strategy. Now, if you've got 70% Bitcoin and 30% that you have in some very focused alts, that could be an okay move, but you have to make those decisions for yourself. Now, what else we got? Let's look at BitTensor Tau. Really nice move to the upside. We called this move back down here to about 230. Got in pretty heavily, moved up. We added a little bit to the position. Look at this. Continued to the upside, came down in a falling channel, falling wedge, bounced, came up. Now it's crashing, right? Well, look, nice move to the upside on BitTensor. It came back down. Where did it come back down to? right in the zone. I did not draw this line this morning. This line I already had drawn as an area to watch. What did we do? Boom, came right back down almost to it. Yeah, we're just seeing the last bit of overwhelming graciousness that the universe is giving you right now. The market dipping like it's dipping right now isn't supposed to be stressful. It's stressful when you don't have a strategy and you're not looking at the data outside of just the price is falling. I see the price getting into better opportunity zones before liftoff. That's what happens when you're looking at the wide range of data and the macro picture of this asset class, Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, what's happening on the world stage with the new administration. We're getting a dip. You're telling me right now the universe loves me so much. If my eyes are open to the data, that I can still buy at these prices, or maybe in some cases, so average it at some lower prices that I may have recently gotten into. You got to trade smart. You got to look at data, and you got to be willing to hold through some hiccups and add to positions if they're strong. If they're not, if you're super stressed, you're overexposed. You need to get out of those positions. But who am I to say? It's up to you to do on your own platform. It wasn't SUI failing. It was Cetus. Platform like SUI, price confidence will likely fall for a bit. Yeah, let's look at SUI. Let's look at SUI. They had that, that hiccup yesterday with everything going on with the liquidity provider exploit. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing in terms of specifically for SUI? Does it highlight the fact that it's not as decentralized as everybody thinks it is? Yes, but I don't think anybody out there realizes the only truly decentralized big crypto in the crypto ecosystem is Bitcoin. It's the only one. Cardano, you could argue, also has a pretty high decentralization based on the way they have all their nodes and all that sort of stuff. But then a lot of different decentralized protocols have a huge amount of their services done through Amazon Web Services, right? So although they might be different nodes, they're all on the same on the same data providers. Guys, I think SUI is going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. In fact, with everything going on, I think it's just going to end up providing. We might get a little bit more of a dip on SUI than we will see on other altcoins because of some of the hesitation in it right now. But I also see a pretty big ass shoulder, giant head shoulder, pretty large reversal. But now we've got this data about the SUI exploit. So if this does drop, where does it go? Let's draw a Fibonacci from the bottom, option F to the top. Okay, look at that. Let's go just like that. Okay, we got the first, which is kind of tackling towards right now, the 382 fib retracement, which is 345. If this loses, then I'm watching one right in here, even though there's no fib here. I'm watching this chop zone that also has this previous price action right there. I'd be watching this as a, for instance, like a big bear trap before liftoff. Because what happens if this loses to the 382, some people just look at fibs and go, I'm going to get in when it hits the golden pocket, boom, right here. And you never get filled because it comes down and finds support on this previous low and this previous high. So if it were me and I was looking to ladder into this, you get a ladder in some here, ladder in some at this level, and then the rest of your ladder right down here. Then you get the average of the three entries and you don't get left hanging if it just bounces here and goes up. But I think this is going to do fine. This is just a short-term hiccup. We've seen issues with Solana. We've seen issues with a number of other chains from exploits. It has nothing to do with the chain itself. Might be other. We saw the same thing with Mantra, Ohm, right? It wasn't Ohm that did it, but they had issues with liquidity that with certain things got flushed out and it caused a chain reaction because of, this new industry, guys. Stacks also showing some pretty large gains. Nice move up, breakdown. Nice move up, breakdown. This, I do think that once this clears this $5 level, maybe a little more $5, $6, I think this is going to make has some pretty big moves to make to the upside. Next target up here, $24. And this is beautiful reversal structure. AVAVE. I know Crypto Dank's been getting in on some AVAVE lately. I mean, beautiful structure here. And remember, DeFi was a major thing when we had DeFi Summer a few years back. But realize this, we have major institutional players coming into the crypto ecosystem now. Major. And a lot of them are going to get orange pilled into crypto and then see the ability that they can utilize within DeFi as well. And I think that's going to be a pretty big channel for getting some, very Bitcoin focused players, ultra high net worth, institutional, when they see what you're able to do with DeFi without all the hours and pages and bullshit of paperwork from traditional banking for them to approve you for how to use your freaking money. No, Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain, DeFi. This is a new paradigm of you controlling your destiny and your custody and how you want to use the financialization of your assets to your benefit. And so AAVE is one of those, and it's one of the legacy DeFi plays out there. I think we're going to see some pretty remarkable inflows in capital coming into AAVE as this gets realized. Look at this giant V-shaped correction. Beautiful. And this is coming up, having a little hesitation where? Right at this chop zone. It's almost like previous price action gives you some idea of a roadmap of an area of interest for some little pauses, some little hiccups, and etc. So, yeah, Crypto Danks, go live after me. I'll push to you. I would say start now because I'm gonna be wrapping up in about 5 minutes. And I'll send it to you. Just make sure your what do you call it? Redirect thing is turned on. I wish they would build something that keeps your transactions private. And there's a number of different things out there that you can do. No, nobody's on after me today. Blockchain is not on after me today. So you go ahead and go live. AVAX. I meant to do this yesterday and I forgot. I apologize, everybody. I had it on the thumbnail, but this is looking freaking ridiculous. I got out of it because I was trimming down my portfolio, and I shared all that with you, right? Here in the BitLab Academy. Markets dropped after we got up, which was great. Smart move on my end. And then I've reallocated back into the market. And man, I mean, look at this. This is such a nice move on Avalanche. That's 64% to the high, 81%. But this is looking like a beautiful reversal. Excuse me. Giant W pattern, a breakout retest of neckline coming up, testing this range that we've had on here for quite some time. I think once it clears out of this, I think about $33 to $36 is going to be the next stop for Avalanche. I'm super, super bullish on Avalanche and what they got going on over there. Cardano also, remember we have the Bitcoin conference next week, and there's supposed to be some revelations about what's going on with Cardano and Midnight and their integrations with Bitcoin. Charles Hoskinson recently even saying that Cardano is essentially a Bitcoin layer 2. So we're going to have to see what this is going to turn out to be. But this looks beautiful. Kind of ugly charting here, but I adjusted this along the way. When you look at this, we can kind of clear this up and just see this falling channel that is a rejection here and then a breakout retest right to this neckline of this inverse head and shoulders, signaling that this wanted to go higher. It did, broke out. But what happens after you rise? What happens on any bullish structure after you rise? You look for a retrace, and then is it going to give you continuation? As it stands right now, look, rise, retrace. It's trying to tackle this phase right here, this continuation phase. And if the market has any sort of rebound today from all the Trump tomfoolery of people thinking, oh, bullshit, nonsense, just look at the chart. Rise, retrace, currently it's looking like it wants to tackle this. But the first hurdle here is going to be this level right here, which is essentially 86 to 91 cent, 86 cents to 91 cents. But as it stands right now, I'm pretty bullish on where Cardano's going this cycle. What else we got? We got ALGO. ALGO also looking very similarly here. This is looking a little more bearish. Does Cardano have that as well? It kind of does. It's kind of a bit of, but in fact, in some ways, I want to just redraw this. Let's remove that. We have a bit of a shoulder, head, shoulder. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the inverted reversal pattern, inverted head and shoulders, right? And this is not breaking out as well. Very similar that we saw in Cardano, but this doesn't have some of the news Cardano has coming. I'd just keep my eye on this. If this loses this line, I'd be watching for a test down to 20 cents. It gets a little scary if it loses that, but I don't expect that to happen. I'm looking for some support here, and we're really the next tackle zone is going to be right up here, which is about 28 cents to 30 cents, and then the next leg up will be up here into the 36-cent zone. But great project. What else we got? Doge. Haven't looked at Doge in a long time. Looks the same as everything. Inverted head and shoulders, a breakout, bull flag. This actually looks more bullish for those Doge holders out there. I've never held Doge, but I like to do coins that I know a lot of you guys are holding. And I see you guys in the live chat here saying different things. Ladder me, daddy. Yeah. I've come to realize all crypto bros play guitar, says Piss Missile Explosion. Yeah, you know what? I toured for 4 or 5 years, 6 years, back in the mid early 2000s, back when I lived in Vegas, actually, many years ago. What else we got? Dot. We haven't looked at Dot in a while. Inverted head and shoulders, bull flag. This, where'd it come to? Right to this trend line that we've had drawn out all the way since this previous. I mean, look at this all-time high, and then these two highs. I drew two different trend lines. It gave us two different levels just to pay attention to. Look at this. Reject. You cannot make this up. Rejected right at it. Bull flag. The target out of this on Dot. I'm bullish on Dot as well for this cycle. Boom. Look, can you believe this? I did not measure that until just now. That's the bull flag flagpole. The measurement out of this goes right to the next trend line. So that's what we're looking at for Dot. What else we got? I just want a GRT, man. We haven't looked at GRT in a minute. Beautiful head and shoulders, bull flag. Okay, what's the target out of this on GRT? How many of you guys hold GRT? I used to hold GRT. I got out just because I was trimming, and then when I went back in, I didn't go back into it, but I would like to get back into some exposure. So the bull flag out of this is tackling, basically, look at this, these levels. I wasn't looking at this. I was looking at this bounce, this rejection, this rejection. That's the target from the bull flag. Perfectly lines up with the next level on the chart. Strong area of interest. Also where this little bzz was right in here. H-bar. H-bar. What we got? Okay, falling. Okay, launch. Jumps off on the trampoline. Boom. Launches up. But now this is a rising channel. This doesn't look as good as all those other coins we just looked at. This actually looks like it wants to take a bit of a move back down to check out 16.5, 16.8. But if it's able to hold where it's at right now, it doesn't have to play out, because although this is a rising channel, be prepared for that move down. But if the market just had the sell-off that it just did and it rebounds here and everything starts pushing up through the weekend, then I would expect this to make another step higher up to 21.5, and then ultimately up here to the top side of this up into the 25-cent range, which is also roughly about where these tops are. Option J. That's an ugly level of the line, but Maker, haven't looked at Maker in a while either. This looks ugly as it can be. Look at this, though, right into the golden pocket. Right into the golden pocket here. This looks a little bit more bullish. This looks like kind of like we were looking at on Algorand, like a rising wedge. However, sometimes you oversee patterns, right? I also see this sort of reversal pattern. So if this is able to hold this level with maybe a little spill down to like 14.97, if this is able to hold here, then the next target up is going to be basically up in here about 2,300. And I wasn't even looking here. I was looking at where these lows were, because this also, look at this. We have this rejection, support, chop zone, rejection. If this bounces here, this is the target I'm looking at, 23.55, and then up here to 26.50, 2,700. But guys, these markets, it's feeling so good. For those that have been hanging on, stacking in, this is the time that it's about. Don't mess this up now, guys. Do not mess this up now. Be more tuned in of the data and your strategy. Be aware of your feelings, but do not mess this up when we're so close to that parabolic. There's going to be days coming up. Let me say this. There's going to be days coming up for those of you that have been stacking and buying these dips, where you're going to be seeing 15%, 30%, 100% moves in your portfolio, depending on how you have your portfolio structured. You're going to be seeing major gains day over day. It's going to be a fairly short window that happens. But for those that are already in position and not falling victim to these emotional scam moves in the market right now that are meant to shake you out, then you are going to see a life-changing opportunity if you are in position. So make sure you're buying the data, not following the nonsense of the news, because Jim Cramer doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Larry Fink was calling Bitcoin a scam, index for money laundering, only about 2 years ago. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon was Bitcoin's a pet rock. Now they're offering everything they can do to offer crypto services. They were lying to you because they see how overwhelmingly amazing this opportunity is and how this is going to reconstitute. It's going to entirely dynamically change the entire global finance system, as well as culture, as well as the way you store your value. And this, because this is on this very exponential rise of adoption as we speak right now, those that are in are more likely than not going to see life-changing opportunities because you're in before the institutions, the governments, and the ultra high net worth people. So all we need to do right now is buy, stack, hodl. Make sure we're tuning in here on BitLab Academy on a daily basis, getting involved in the Discord, and just thank your lucky stars that you were born in this time and somebody introduced crypto to you, and you had the balls and the courage to educate yourself so that you could stack and absolutely be the best ancestor you could be and change your future. With that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll be seeing a lot of you in Vegas. I will be doing content next week. It's going to be a little different, probably on timing because of it's 3 hours back there. But stay tuned. Turn on your notifications. If you're watching right now, if you're watching me on my Twitter, X over here on my Twitter, make sure when you go, I'm going to show you something. When you go to somebody's page, let me just show you an example. Let's go to Chris Pfaff. Chris Pfaff right here. No. Here we go. So when you go to my page, do the same. I don't know why the hell did that not show up? Chris. Oh, this is his page. Okay, cool. See here at the top, see this little bell on my page or on the Academy BitLab page, click that, notify, turn on notifications. Then you'll see when the content comes out. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching, right down here where it says subscribed, make sure it says subscribed. Click this little button, turn on notifications. And if you're watching on Rumble, come over here, click the following button. And I don't know if there's a separate notification thing here. I don't believe so. But make sure you're following, get involved. Big love to you. Shout out to Ahmad Zone. How you doing? Big love to you all. Get involved with our Discord. That link's right here. If you're a BitLab member, you can get in there, get grandfathered in for the price you're paying, but you don't have to do anything. You just go and join, sign up for LBank, and then email us at office@hitnetwork.com, and we'll get you all sorted there. But get involved. These markets are about to absolutely change lives. Let's make sure we're staying tuned in. I love you guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Adios. Adios, muchachos.